This program brought to you by SydneyHarbourBoatTours.com.
Hi, I'm James Wilkinson and welcome to Wayfarer. Coming up on today's show, we're checking into some of the best hotels in London and Barcelona. We're going inside two of the best lounges in Australia and much more. Before we do that, here's this week's travel news. Perth is currently playing host to the 2019 Australian Tourism Exchange, the nation's largest annual travel and tourism business-to-business event. The event brings together Australian tourism businesses and tourism wholesalers and retailers from around the world through a combination of scheduled business appointments and networking events. Around 1,500 Australian seller delegates from approximately 550 companies are in attendance, alongside 650 key buyer delegates from over 30 countries. To find out more on what's in store for tourism in this country, we spoke to Tourism Australia's General Manager of International, Phillipa Harrison.
So this is our largest platform where we introduce global buyers to Australian experiences and Australian sellers, and it's the biggest platform that we do. So this week we have got over 546 Australian companies selling to over 500 buyer companies.
And it's been around for decades, hasn't it?
So this year we are celebrating our 40th birthday. So we've come a long way since 1979, when we had one market represented in the US. We welcomed 700,000 guests to Australia. Today we have over 30 countries represented in our buyer companies, and we welcome 9.2 million guests to Australia every year.
It's interesting how you talk about experiences in Australia when we talk about who comes to these events, because there are so many experiences now on offer in Australia and the quality keeps getting better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. We have a real range of tourism experiences represented here. Obviously we've got the accommodation, we have a lot of tour operators, but we have a lot of new small and niche products, and probably one of the best examples of that is our signature experiences. And so those experiences are a range of collectives that are run by the industry that represent really interesting products that people are interested in doing. So food and wine experiences, golfing experiences, and the like.
Now, a couple of years ago we were talking a lot about Restaurant Australia and what that did for Australia. Is it a blend of food, wine, adventure? Is this what Australia's turned into now from a global standpoint?
So people travel for a range of things. So the main ones from Tourism Australia's point of view is food and wine, so that continues to be a key driver for tourism. It's also our coastal and aquatic experiences. So 67% of the people who come to Australia do want to come and experience our coastal and aquatic experiences, but it's also our nature and wildlife. So it's our big, beautiful open spaces and our unique wildlife. So there's a range of reasons that people come here. It's not one singular driver, but it's a combination of all of those things.
And China's become our biggest inbound market into Australia. Obviously a lot of hard work paid off over the years in China on how you sold Australia to the Chinese, and a lot of it was through social media platforms and just showing lots of videos and amazing photos of this country to inspire those travellers.
That's right. So China is now our largest inbound market. It has been for some years in terms of visitor spend, but it's now our largest market for arrivals as well. So last year we welcomed 1.4 million Chinese to Australia, and that number is forecast to continue growing. So it's been growing very rapidly at double-digit growth. We're looking at that growth slowing to around 6 or 7%, but still growing from a much larger base. Why do people come here? It is interesting. The Chinese traveller is changing quite quickly. So initially when we were marketing Australia to China, it was big groups where they went and they, ticked off destinations and did a lot of shopping. We're finding now that the Chinese traveller of today are much more independent. They're looking to really come and experience and immerse themselves in Australia rather than just doing a tick box exercise. And so that's exciting for us because we have a lot to offer in that that area.
Absolutely, and I think you look at Australia from an airline growth. I mean, Australia's now more accessible than ever before. I mean, more than a dozen Chinese destinations alone. More flights of Asia even being announced this week. Obviously, it's great getting so much capacity out of Asia in particular into Australia right now.
We're an island, so aviation is really important to us, so we do focus on that at Tourism Australia. Last year we saw aviation capacity grow by 4%. That growth is still, a lot of it is still coming out of China. We now have 18 cities in China to 6 cities in Australia, so massive capacity growth, and that has really helped underpin our arrivals growth from China. We do expect to see that rationalising a little bit as the subsidies from the Tier 2 cities come off, but we do expect to continue to see growth from an aviation point of view.
Also exciting, I think, to see other states popping up that are off the radar a lot for international tourists. Things like Tasmania is really getting a lot of recognition around the world.
As it
Welcome back to Wayfarer. Barcelona, where I am right now, is home to a luxurious Fairmont hotel. Let's go inside. All right, mate, we're here at the beautiful Fairmont in Barcelona, and you've had a recent renovation. Tell us about the upgrade.
We just finished renovating every single guest room. The owner spent 38 million euros. And September 2018, we completed the renovation of 432 rooms. We're very pleased how the results have come, the feedback from guests. The public areas, as you can see, were also done during the renovation process. And we're starting right now, over the next 3 years, we're going to be renovating the Congress Center that we also manage, that is right outside of the hotel, 200 meters from here. So
yeah, and you're a very convenient location. You're in between the airport and the city, so you've obviously got the best of both worlds there.
Yes, not only between the city and the hotel, we are 1 kilometer from Barcelona Football Stadium, right? So if you come here on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night or Champions League, this place is the place to be. Incredible parties at the bar right behind us, people having drinks before going to watch Barcelona hopefully beat whoever they're playing against. So,
and Barcelona's become a huge draw card for football, like we're talking about. It's become massive from a global tourism standpoint.
It is. It is. You know, I can tell you many stories, but last year there was a game between Real Madrid and Barcelona. The team was staying with us. Most of the teams that come to play against Barcelona select us because of the convenience of the hotel and the service we provide them. And I ran into a Japanese gentleman that was standing in the lobby, and with his young boy, 7 years old. So I started talking to them. He said to me that as a gift to his son, he said, "What do you like to do?" And the boy says, "I would like to see Real Madrid Barcelona." And they came all the way from Tokyo. They flew on a Thursday night to a game that was taking place on a Sunday night, and Monday they returned back to Tokyo. That for me is to think that you're going to make such a long trip for a football game, but it has the draw that this game has around the world.
And the city's got a big draw, doesn't it, obviously, from the food standpoint now, as well as architecture and football.
Yeah. I want you to think, if you think of Barcelona, you have to think of 4 F. Football is one. I know you call it footy or you call it soccer, right, in Australia. It's a fun city to be. There's so much to do. The food is amazing. You can dine. Some of the best Italian food that I have had is in the city. Outstanding. I'm from Peru. Incredible Peruvian restaurants in the city. So I tell you, football, fun, food, and the last 4 is, of course, Fairmont. Those are the 4 F's you want to think.
And looking at this hotel, this is probably one of the better Fairmonts in the world. I mean, from a luxury standpoint, you really have done a beautiful luxury renovation here.
Yes, thank you. I agree with it. I am biased. I love this hotel. I've been here for a year and a half now, and it is a unique structure, as you can see. I mean, I have worked around the world, as we were discussing before, James, and I have never seen a place that the 90% of the clients that walk into this hotel, the first thing that they do is they get their phone out and start filming or start taking pictures, because the sense of arrival is impressive, right? So, and the credit has the architect, the credit goes to the owner, because they had a vision. The hotel opened in 1992 for the Olympic Games. And they created something that, with a little bit of taste, with a little bit of money, you can maintain a property that is 25 years old. It's iconic.
And you look at that now with an Accor standpoint, obviously, that accentuates Fairmont for you in a lot of key markets, including Asia Pacific, where Accor is so strong.
Right. As you just said, we're part of one of the largest companies in the world, Accor. They acquired Fairmont, Raffles, and Swiss Hotel when they started to expand and get into a luxury market. And it has been a great partnership. It's been a great marriage. The machine that is become Accor is really helping us to sell the hotel and to position us in markets that probably we have not penetrated before.
And obviously Accor, very well known for food and beverage now, and not just accommodations.
Right.
Obviously in a city like Barcelona that's such a foodie city, how important is it getting the F&B right in the hotel?
You know, we continue to find ways to improve our services. We just signed an association, a partnership with Los Hermanos Torres, two very well-known chefs here in Barcelona. The twin brothers, they're very well known because they're in the media on a regular basis. They have a restaurant not far from here, which is a 2 Michelin star. And what we discussed it with the team, is how can we improve? And we have created an upscale version, an upscale offering of our food and beverage services for banquets, for weddings. So if you want a touch of Michelin stars in your banquet events, now we can provide it to our market. And in the short time that we have started this partnership, we already have done 4 events. We have already secured 4 weddings for next year. So there's a lot of excitement, and you have to always think what you can do to remain, to be fresh and to provide those offerings into the market.
And one of the great hallmarks of Fairmont is it's perfect for business travelers, isn't it? You always think about the business traveler with this brand as one of the first and foremost things alongside leisure.
Correct. People, you have to remember that people have to travel, right? Despite the fact that technology has, many people said, will solve many of the needs. We believe that it still is important to travel, to visit someone, shake someone's hand, meet with the customers, and organizations continue to bring their employees to work in a destination. That interaction that exists with humans is crucial, for business, and we really cater to that segment very well.
And if you could choose 3 favorite things about the hotel, what would they be?
Well, number 1 is the gardens. There's no other hotel in the city of Barcelona, very few hotels in the world that actually has such a green space that we are. Number 2 is the fact that we operate a convention center. Very few properties. I just returned from Montreux, where Accor has an event that's called GME, the Global Exchange Meeting, where we bring customers from all over the world that are booking events in our properties. And all of them were telling me how pleased they are that we have taken over the management of the Congress Center 2 years ago. There were 2 separate entities before. Fairmont took over the hotel in 2015. We took over the Congress Center shortly after that. And the fact that we operate the Congress Center, that for the customer that comes in, is extremely easy. So those are 2. And the third one is, as we were discussing before, the proximity to the stadium. You can walk from here to watch a football game. You can be having a beer at the bar 20 minutes before, and you will be there for kickoff time. And
if you look in here in the hotel, I found one thing that I'm really impressed with is the service.
Thank you.
Barcelona is obviously very well known for service. That's a real highlight here, isn't it?
Yes. We have people in this hotel that have been with us for 25 years, right? The doorman that is working today, Agustin, started as a doorman in this hotel 25 years ago, and I admire and I respect people like that, because I have traveled around the world. I have lived in 11 cities. Sydney was one of them. My son was born in Sydney. But when I see people like Agustin, Christian, our concierge, that has been here for 12 or 15 years, people that absolutely bring the passion and bring the commitment every single day to the job, that's something that is remarkable.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
Coming up after the break, we're taking you to London. Welcome back to Wayfarer. London's home to 2 of our favourite hotels in the British capital, Threadneedles and The Academy. Let's check in now. Thanks so much for your time today. We're here at the Academy Hotel in Bloomsbury, and what are some of the highlights of the property?
The highlight of the property, James, is it's a 50-bedroom comprised of 5 Georgian townhouse, and you are really in the heart of London. You're just 10 minutes walk from Soho and Covent Garden, so ideal location for business travelers, leisure travelers, and we have the history of those 5 townhouses that have been here since 1766, so you span over 240 years of history, so that's make it more special and with a lot of character from the outside that are coming inside. And what I love about this property as well is what Alexandra Champagne managed to do from a design point of view. She's got all the different zones, got a lot of different characters, so when you come into the property, into the lobby reception, from the design of wallpaper, going to the Alchemy Bar, where the Alchemy Bar, she managed to link it very well with our hidden treasure, which is the courtyard and garden, which you don't expect in a lot of hotels in London. So you're able to, once you come on property, you'll be able to come and relax straight away. And be ready for your business or to chill. Very
comfortable rooms. I mean, you're staying in a townhouse. You're not in a big skyscraper hotel.
Yes, it's very relaxing. It's again from a Georgian townhouse, low levels in terms of building, and although you're in the center of London, it still feels very peaceful, and that's what a lot of our guests enjoy. Is you come, you have a great night's sleep, and be able to relax and go to enjoy London.
And a great little bar as well.
Yes, so the Alchemy Bar, so we focus with our alchemist to focus on our gin selection, go back to the history of London with Bloomsbury gin, made by Tanqueray, Portobello gin, and our alchemists really focus on bespoke cocktails for our customer. We also team up with Ridgeview that do a Bloomsbury sparkling to reflect the heritage that we have of the area of the Bloomsbury set of writers. So it's a nod to Virginia Woolf from Bloomsbury set 100 years ago, dedicated to her.
And obviously your other property here in London, Threadneedles, a very well-known property. Tell us about that.
So Threadneedles is located in the Square Mile. We're very fortunate to be right next to the Bank of England. So ideal from business traveler, where they're just walking distance from the Square Mile, from any business there. But at the same time, we have a lot of great feedback from our customers that stay with us for leisure over the weekend, where they come again from the buzz of London. They come inside the hotel and they're able to relax in what is in effect a Victorian bank. For going back to 1856, the old City Bank of London. So very often customer might just not notice from when they walk the street, but when they come inside, they see that beautiful dome, which is spectacular, and they're able to enjoy the stay with us there. And a very famous chef in that hotel as well. Yes, we got Marco Pierre White, and that put the Wheelers brand, which is the oldest fish brand in the world, and has implemented that concept with us at Threadneedles. So it's a focus on the fish with a traditional Doversal, so our classics of prawn cocktails. But at the same time, because we're in the city, we also have some great quality steak. With Burkla beef, 35 days aged, but the twist with fillet steak served with oyster. So just something different again done by Marco. And again, it's being in Britain, there's so much amazing produce in this country, and a lot of it coming not too far from London. Yes, and that's what Marco is very keen, is that the focus on the locality, what makes us different, and so all the produce and fish selected from the British coastline. And what's some of your favourite things about the two hotels? They're obviously very unique, they're very different, and lots of character. Well, what's my favourite element is to be different for travellers. You don't want to always travel for business or leisure and it's kind of your standard hotel. What we have is great heritage. Both properties are different, James, as you mentioned. One going back to 1856, an old Victorian bank, and then we have here the Academy 5 Georgian townhouse. So that's so different. So unique, and what our customer remember because of the small size with Threadneedles 74 bedroom and Academy 50 bedroom. Once you're under 100 bedroom hotels, we could really deliver personalized service, and that's what we're all about. To deliver great experience, customer will be able to treasure those moments. And obviously, when people come to London now, they really want an experience at the hotel, don't they? They want to feel like they're living in England. Yes, and we've got with Marco Pierre White, we've done the Marco Pierre White experience. So we've got, you will have signed a book for the customer that join. We pair the wine with the dish from his carte. and we also do the thief of Threadneedle Street, which is 4 American gangsters that tried to break into the Bank of England 100 years ago. So we do a historical tour of the city of London, which is, at the end of the day, the city of London is the oldest part of London, so going back to Roman times. So we're in the between St. Paul Cathedral and Tower Bridge, so got great history there.
Wonderful, thank you for having us.
You're welcome, James.
Well, that's it from us on Wayfarer. Thanks for watching, and see you next time as our global adventures continue.